Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. All right, we're back, and what a delight and an honor to have back with us today Walid Shoebat. He has been with us before, and it's always an honor to have him. He has authored several books. Maybe you've read some. If not, you need to read them all. For God or for Tyranny, God's War on Terror, and Why We Want to Kill You, and Why I Left Jihad. And today we want to talk to him about something else that kind of adds to the twist of things of what's going on in this country. Walid, nice to have you, my friend. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, quickly, before we get into the Obamacare website, what's your take on what's happening in Iraq? Can anything be done there?
It is very difficult. I mean, the only choice the U.S. has, which is the Iranians are trying to do, and they're saying, look, you want us to do something here, and wanting the U.S. to recognize Iran as another agency of combating terrorism in this case, and the Iranians are flamboyantly saying we need to combat terrorism, trying to appear very moderate in this case. And, you know, the U.S. joining hands with Iran is just the last resort, and that's not going to work out. And this is going to basically boost Iran into the sphere. And so, you know, you have the Iranian revolutionary guard, you know, parked in Baghdad. It looks like Iraq is fragmented already. It's fragmenting by the seam, you know, from the seams. And it's just basically going to be Shia, Sunni district, and the Mosul district. And the issue of Kurdistan becomes a major issue for the Turks, which the Turks will be involved. So, you know, it's basically aiding the Iranian axis is what the U.S. did by starting the problem in Syria. Now it's basically transported into Iraq. And this is what happens when you aid the Islamist movement in Syria. You know, you have the Free Syrian Army now out of the picture, and now you have al-Nusra joining, as well as the Naqshbandi Sufis joining with the ISIS. Now, that's another whole scenario. The Sufis are joining with the revolution against the government in Iraq. That is a major issue because Turks are Sufis, and many Westerners think that Sufi Muslims are the peaceful kind. This is proven to be false. And so the quagmire is simply going to increase, and there is not much the U.S. can do.
Well, it's just amazing. We're watching this thing, and of course, as you know, our Secretary of State's over there trying to negotiate a deal, and it's almost seemingly a waste of time. I don't know if the average American understands the problem and why this is such a security threat, but now it just seems to be out of control.
Absolutely. We're indirectly aiding and abetting al-Qaeda-like operation when it comes to Syria. And that's what started the quagmire. Our aiding and abetting the Free Syrian Army, which is a terrorist group. And we've been showing this for the last 2 years. We're aiding terrorism. And that's going to create a much bigger picture when it comes to Daesh or the ISIS, because they're now magnetizing the Sufi Naqshbandis, they're magnetizing al-Nusra, they're showing victory. And when you show victory in these kind of revolutions, it really goes in high gear, in which it will build the confidence of the fundamentalist Muslim movement. And that's what's happening. And of course, it brings Iran into the quagmire, which is something that we shouldn't be doing at this point.
Wow. All right, well, maybe some of the reasons are tied into the next topic that you want to bring to the table, and that is there seemingly is a connection here in so many ways that our current administration seems to be pro-Muslim, i.e. pro-Islamic terrorism. I mean, I don't know how you can extract anything else but that. But what is the connection now between the company, the CGI, the company that was hired to build the Obamacare website, and some of the things happening in Benghazi? What's the connection from your research?
Well, you know, CGI acquired a company called Stanley Associates, which provides services to the U.S. federal civilian defense and intelligence agency. So Stanley is part and parcel of CGI. And now when you look at when that movie, Innocence of Muslims, or a clip at 1 minute and 32 seconds was, you know, began to be launched, it was launched by a group called News Politics Now, which is a subsidiary of Stanley Associates. Again, it goes back to the federal government. So NPN produced the clip, and then on September 11th, 2012, it uploaded a short version of the video, and in which basically it got, I don't know, a few million hits, and then all of a sudden NPN vanished into oblivion. But we do know that NPN has been created by Stanley and Associates, and in September the 20th, it basically vanished and did its thing. And so we can see that it's part of Agit Group. Agit Group is basically part of the things that Obama learned from his communist mentors, and that is to create agitation. And so we should take Obama at his word. Yeah, the movie was the reason, and we should focus on the movie and see who created the movie. Sure, if you want to make the claim that the movie is the reason for these troubles, and it's nothing to do with Benghazi and so on and so forth, we can go that route too. And with this kind of evidence, I think it will bring tremendous problems for the Obama administration. Of course, that also coincides, this kind of activities coincides when Hillary Clinton was involved in the Istanbul process. The Istanbul process is about creating, sort of cooperating with the OIC, Organization of Islamic Council, and in that meetings, Hillary gave a speech, and she said that we will use some old-fashioned techniques of peer pressure and shaming so that people don't feel that they have the support to do what we abhor, and that is basically criticizing Islam. And the president himself came out and says there's no place here for anybody who criticizes the Prophet of Islam. And so they made these statements before, that that's the goal. The goal is really the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, and that's what these Agit groups do, and that was part of the subsidiary of the federal government. You had 4.5 million views on this video before it went viral. I mean, who would watch these crazy YouTube videos from a guy who was unknown, virtually unknown, Naqula Basil Naqula? It had to have been gaining momentum, being aided from above. And of course, I know that my cousin was involved with the movie maker. My first cousin, Iyad Salama, he was involved with the movie maker, and the feds were involved in releasing Naqula Basil Naqula in exchange for him to cooperate in catching one of his operatives, and in which that operative was captured in Canada, and the feds didn't even take him in, even though the Canadians begged the American to, here's your man, and said no thanks, but no thanks, and he was finally delivered back to Palestine, courtesy of the Canadian government. And so, we know that he was a federal agent when he cooperated with the feds. We have the court documents to prove that the feds came in and asked for leniency from Judge Snyder, in which it was approved. And in fact, the feds showed up with a very important full bird, I forgot his name, and replaced who was in charge of the case, and sent somebody who was very up there from the government to take care of Naqula Basil Naqula. All these things about him going to jail, all that stuff, is a front, of course.
Wow. That is, this is incredible. I mean, this is quite an indictment that the administration had connections with the actual video that they blamed everything on and then turned around and ignored it. I mean, this is unbelievable. Do you think this is going to get legs in the press?
Well, it's difficult. It's got to take the last straw that breaks the camel's back. We've seen the case of Bergdahl. Here's the president releasing top 5 full-bird terrorists from the Taliban, akin equal to Sheikh Khalid Mohammed. And so we've seen Obama smiling at the Rose Garden when Bergdahl Sr. was saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful, with a full-grown beard and a trimmed mustache, wow, typical of what Muslim males do. And then he's going there negotiating with terrorists, telling the spokesperson of Taliban that I'm still working to free all Gitmo prisoners. God will repay for the death of every Afghan child. Amen. Who's he fighting for? His son or the prison in Guantanamo? Then he has a very dark mind. He subscribes to the top terrorist YouTube videos, Anwar al-Awlaki. Not only he's just looking at these videos, but he's putting comments on these YouTube videos in classical Arabic language, which means, he's learned that language quite well. And then he comments that he's Muslim. And all this is proven fact. And, he also put one of his favorites with another Ismail Menk. Ismail Menk was one of the favorites of Tsukar Tsarnaev. the Boston Marathon bombers, the pressure cooker bombers. I mean, this is the same kind of thing that you see, that happened with Anwar Awlaki, Nidal Malik Hassan.
Wow.
He also subscribing to Anwar Awlaki was Nidal Malik Hassan, the guy behind the Fort Hood massacre. So this man is really a pro-terrorism, working with his son, in cahoots with his son. The testimonies against his son came forth, from several of his comrades, saying that this guy's a defector, this guy is a pro-Taliban, this guy went looking for the Taliban, left his weapons behind. So here we're exchanging full-bird terrorists with a traitor. And that's under the auspices of the Obama administration, who got no permission from anybody to do it.
Yeah, it's stunning that we haven't brought this into justice. It's just mind-boggling. Our checks and balances is totally broken. Let me ask you this before we run out of time. Do you think Hillary will be tagged with this?
Well, I mean, her legacy is basically dying out. You can see Americans are kind of waking up to the Hillary Clinton, and she's involved. If she was in the OIC, she was very much involved in this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got her sidekick, Huma Abedin, who we know her father was a major constructor of document in the Saudi Wahhabi government and how to use the Muslim minority affairs to take over the world, including the U.S., and how to use Muslim minorities in building mosques and all these things. We're talking about a group that infiltrated under Hillary Clinton into the halls of the government, in the federal government, in the CIA, in the FBI, in the military. This is the works of Hillary Clinton as well, cooperating with President Obama. So the liberals think that by working with non-conservative entities, it's really a revolutionary mindset. It's the liberals have a revolutionary mindset to use any enemies of Judeo-Christian ethics. And the same thing with the Islamists. They use the mindset of anyone who supports their ethics to a certain degree. And so revolutionary concepts tend to go that route and to create havoc in a society like ours.
Well, and I'm out of time. You're fascinating. Where can people get more information on this and correspond with you?
Shoebat.com, just as you spell the word shoe, S-H-O-E, and the word bat, S-H-O-E-B-A-T.com.
Thank you, my friend. Look forward to having you back. Stay safe, and our prayers go with you.
God bless.
God bless. We'll be right back.